Hey, Riddle here. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. If you're a subscriber, I really appreciate it. So, just got back from a 3-week trip. We went to Orlando. I'd never been to Florida. So weird. I've been to almost every state in the United States, and I always just, I don't know, I just never wanted to go to Florida. But we started in Orlando and then flew out of Orlando to Costa Rica to San Jose, which is a pretty normal place to fly into. It's their capital in Costa Rica, and then spent a couple weeks, 2.5 weeks in Costa Rica, and then went on to the Keys and Miami. So this video, I'm going to give you all the things I learned, all the tips I learned maneuvering Costa Rica, because we did drive, which is a very interesting thing there. And we live in the mountains, so maneuvering the winding roads was really easy for us because we live in winding roads and kind of precarious roads. If you're not used to narrow winding roads, be prepared for that. Also be prepared if you drive that like there's not a lot of civilities when you're driving in Costa Rica. It's kind of first come, first serve. But you can go online and you want to learn the basic traffic signs, because often there are bridges that one person has the right of way on, and other dangerous situations or one lane highways or what have you, that it's going to be really important for you to know those road signs so you know what you're getting into. If you see a truck, people are really cool there like they were when I lived in the Midwest. If there's a cop around, they'll flash their lights at you to let you know, which is really nice. And you have to be careful of trucks. They drive crazy, and there's not a lot of room for everybody. So just make sure, you know, that you keep your eye on the trucks. And locals. Locals drive crazy too. And people in the street when you're driving, they won't get out of your way. So you not only have to be worried about people hitting you, but you have to be worried about hitting other people. So the thing is, if you're not a smart, alert, aggressive driver, and you tend to take things personally, like people beeping at you, being really impatient, or people just driving really selfishly, like in a real crazy big city or third world kind of way, you might not want to drive in Costa Rica. We really didn't have that bad of a time, though. They have a lot of roundabouts, which roundabouts really confuse the crap out of me. Luckily, I had someone with me that had much better senses about the roundabout thing. People use Waze in Costa Rica more than they use Google Map. And if you're going to be driving, you can download the map into your phone, the directions into your phone. There's a setting so that when you get into the mountains or away from a good signal, you don't lose navigation. So it's really important when you're traveling anywhere, especially when you're driving up in the mountains or away from civilization, that you fully download your destination into your phone before taking off, because you will lose signal, but it doesn't matter if it's already in your phone. Streets are really poorly marked there. A lot of times there's no street sign whatsoever. So, you know, just be prepared to get a little lost. And the locals are pretty helpful with finding things, because especially, you know, they all are helping each other as neighbors. So, you know, usually it's in their best interest to help you out, but not always. For instance, we were staying at this really cool eco lodge in Mount Verde, and we pulled into the wrong place and dragged all our suitcases up this more expensive hotel. And we asked the woman if we were in the right place. She was a young girl, and she's like, "I don't know where this place is." And it was literally like a really well-known eco-tourist place that people paid actually at $12 even if they weren't staying there, to come and walk around the grounds. So she totally lied to us, and she was just being really poor in here. But anyways, that's on her. I'm going to give you some other really important tips about Costa Rica. So driving. Often when you drive in Costa Rica, you have to have a third-party insurance. The government of Costa Rica will force you to get that third-party insurance. So if something happens to you there, everything's covered. We were able to get out of that somehow through our credit card. It covered enough because we had a ton of coverage through our Visa or MasterCard. So just do your homework because you may have to argue it a little bit when you get there, but sometimes you can get out of paying that third-party insurance, but be prepared for that and make sure you do your research that you have all the proper documents. What else do we have here? Oh, the water in Costa Rica. Believe it or not, the water there is really safe. If you have a delicate immune system, you can always boil it in a teapot and then, pour it in your bottles or just buy bottled water. But there were lots of times that we ate fresh salads, had ceviche, and drank bottled water and never, ever, ever had any issues whatsoever, unlike Mexico and Peru. This is a very interesting one, when you go to a tourist place that does not have designated parking, or sometimes when it does have kind of designated parking, the thing is, though Costa Rica has a reputation for being more taking care of its people or being more socially conscious, there's still huge financial disparities between the classes. People are still struggling horribly there. The average daily wage, I think, is $10. So there's still a lot of desperation there. It's still South America. So we went to this amazing place. It was a volcanic river in La Fortuna. So it literally is these rolling rapids gently in this river, and the temperature is hot as if you were go to like a hot springs. So it's a hot springs river. Now the parking is all along the side of the road. So that should be free, right? Well, it is free, except there's all these dudes along there that have their territory staked. And if you don't give them $4, $5, whatever they ask for, they will steal your license plates or let someone break into your car. So make sure if you park anywhere that you give the dude a couple extra bucks so that doesn't happen to you. It's worth the extortion. We met one couple. It was kind of sad. They were Swedes and just super naive. They left all of their crap in the backseat of their car. They never saw the parking guy. Not only was their car broken into, their passwords were stolen, their money was, everything was stolen. And that's really sad because they were a family and it was just disheartening. They felt really victimized. But then we met this other kid, this Indian kid, and he had a really cool experience where he was taking the bus in from San Jose, and this dude, he left his backpack on the bus. Like, I don't know what these people are thinking, but he left his backpack on the bus, thinking it was going to be safe, went in to use the bathroom, the Indian kid, came out, and of course, passport's gone, money's gone. But the thing was, the people that were riding the bus were a bunch of locals, a bunch of Ticos. They saw the dude do it, and they saw the dude coming back. The locals surrounded the thief and kicked the shit out of him and got the dude's money back and passport and everything. And it was so funny because we were hiking, and the guy was showing me the pictures of the kid with the bloody nose on the ground and surrounded by the locals. So there is kindness in Costa Rica and fairness, but you still, even in the United States, anywhere you go, you never leave your shit in the backseat of your car. Always lock it securely in your trunk, and you really shouldn't travel with your passport. At any decent hotel, they will have a printer. Everyone has a printer now. You take a copy of your passport, and you hike and you take that with you everywhere you go. And you leave your original passport somewhere hidden or very safe in a secure area where you're staying. Okay, what else do we have here? Spanish. Don't expect everyone to speak English. Yes, you'll run into a lot of people who do speak English. But if you really want a great experience and you want to have a lot less stress, learn some basic Spanish. You want to at least be able to order food, be polite, find the bathroom, take directions, and say something to your cab driver like, "Oh, you can drop me off here, this is close enough." Basic Spanish at the minimum, because it's only respectful and it will make your experience a lot better. And Costa Ricans, I would say that probably 90% of them speak either great English or good enough English to figure stuff out. You want to check the roads and talk to wherever you're staying, at the hotel or Airbnb where you're staying, before you use the Waze or take the roads, because Waze is always going to, or even Google Maps is going to try to take you the shortest way. We made the mistake of taking the shortest way from Mount Verde to San Manuel, or Manuel, the beach. And it was supposed to be the shortest way, but it was a road that hadn't been paved, and there were literally potholes so deep that even people in four-wheel drives, which we had a really basic four-wheel, like standard car, were like going, like it was crazy how deep the potholes were and how primitive the road was. And I'm talking 2.5 hours of crater-sized potholes, and that was supposed to be the shorter way. But we learned later that there actually was a normal highway but we didn't save any time because we had to drive so damn slow, so we didn't lose a tire. So make sure that you really check with people to make sure that your route is the best route and not the most dangerous route. They are doing a lot of upgrades to the roads there, but there are still a lot of roads with massive potholes, and they're worse than just dirt roads. They're like moonscapes. That's why you may want to spend, if you're driving, the extra money for a good car, four-wheel drive, bigger tires, or just drive really, really safe. Okay, so we got the parking thing, got that thing. Gas is really expensive there. Seems like most places are full service. Gas is running over $5 a gallon. It's kind of shocking, and I'm from California, and the price shocked us. Okay, I'm going to tell you a story about, we did a lot of activities. We ATV'd, we did the zip line thing, we blah, 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 because we like that. Everything in Costa Rica is expensive. Sometimes you can find medium priced food. It seems like the cheapest meal in Costa Rica is pizza. They do really good pizza. Or what they call typical food. Typical food is the local Costa Rican food, which can consist of a lot of different things depending where you're at in Costa Rica. Of course, by the ocean, you want to get seafood. But really, the typical food is rice and beans with something else that's a bit creative. But be prepared, because food can be really expensive. And be careful, like, if you walk into a lot of places and it's not listed what things cost, just walk out, because they really, really, really like to take advantage of, they call it the gringo tax, but really it's just the foreigner tax. They think all foreigners are rich, and I guess compared to them they are, but basic price for one person to get into a national park is $25, and that's a cheap thing. So everything you do, another thing, if you want to plan to do like ATV or some kind of excursion, several things. One, don't go to one of those places on the street that plans your trip for you, because basically all they're doing is marking up the price 30 to 50% and then just driving you to your destination. It's cheaper to just take an Uber directly to the ATV office or the zip lining office or horse riding, whatever you're into, coffee plantation, and just pay directly at the office. You will save 50%. Be careful. It's not supposed to be legal, but sometimes not only will they charge you that extra fee for nothing, but they will charge you an additional 13% tax. The locals told me this wasn't legal, then other people say it's normal. Basically, they're kind of out to screw you everywhere you go. Everything's expensive, and there's always some sneaky fee or tax. So be super, super clear about what you're paying for. What else? ATV. So be responsible for watching the weather. We were supposed to be there at a time that it was supposed to be going into the dry season. The rainy season was supposed to be over, but they had some late season rain. and their super torrential rain the day before we went out on the ATVs. And then I'm like reading the weather, and it looks like it was supposed to rain the day we were going to go out. So we get to the ATV place, and I'd never ridden an ATV, and neither had my friend. No training whatsoever. It's like this button, that button, this button, let's go kind of thing. Well, the first thing that happens, which was very foreboding, was there was this family, this young family, Asian Indians, mother, 2 young children, father, and you had to go out onto the road, drive about half a mile to the actual obstacle course where you did the ATVing. The mother goes full throttle, no brake, out of the gate, straight into the ditch. Horrific. The father runs across the street. The kids are like, ah, and he's like, no, children, no. Of course, the kids run hard. There's mom in the ditch, all wrapped up in an ATV. It was horrifying. She broke her leg. They had to take her away in an ambulance. So we take off, and I'm terrified. I'm like, oh, no. When we get to the obstacle course, I realized that there'd been so much torrential rain that, and I guess that's supposed to be the best case scenario because it's really muddy, but it was too muddy. And you can imagine the way they take care of the roads with this obstacle course, like 2-hour obstacle course they were taking us on. But this is my point. No matter what you do, they are not going to tell you it's dangerous, it's going to rain, there's going to be a typhoon, a plague of locusts. They're just out to make money. And often you will put yourself, they will put you in a really dangerous circumstance because you sign away your life at these places before you leave. You sign away all the liabilities. And so really, really, really watch the weather, find out what's going on because, you know, you'll go to orchid parks and no orchids will be blooming. You'll go up to see a view in the mountains and it's too early in the morning and there's so much fog in the cloud forest that you can't see anything but fog. Or you'll be taken out in freezing torrential rain for 2 hours in mud so deep that you have to switch out your ATV 4 times and almost tip over and kill yourself. Be responsible and don't trust them because all they want to do is make a buck. Okay, booking tours, I covered that. What else do we got here? Airbnbs and hotels. Now, we found some great deals at the Airbnb and hotels, but you really, really, really want to be careful and make sure that your Airbnb, depending where you're going to in Costa Rica, has hot water. A lot of places don't have hot water, and air conditioning. A lot of places do not have air conditioning. If you're a person who wants creature comforts, those basic creature comforts, really, really check. A lot of the hotels didn't have soap or towels or like be prepared. Be prepared for everything. It changed from place to place, and just don't assume even the basic standards for Airbnb or hotel there in Costa Rica, especially if you're doing it on the cheap. Driving signs. Told you about the bridges. Told you about the hot springs. When you go to Sanwell Beach, I'm not saying it right. Oh, I'll put it in the details. It's the major beach, Manuel something or another, San Manuel something or another. It sounds so beautiful and so intriguing, but you try to get there either super early in the morning. Our hotel was at the very tip, and all we had to do is drive through the little town and go down this little road, and we had private parking at our Airbnb, which was walking distance from the beach. The thing is, there are hundreds of these super aggressive locals trying to get you to park for public parking and charge you for free public parking all along there. So we're just trying to go straight because we didn't need to park, and they're literally blocking your car and getting in your face. And I'm like screaming back at them like it's a total screaming match. Just get the fuck out of my way, freak. So be prepared for that because it's very confusing and very chaotic, and the government does nothing about it. And I still don't know if it's supposed to be free parking at the beach or not. because it is insane, chaotic. You can't turn around, and I don't even know how much they're charging those suckers by the beach to, park. Always plan extra time. Everything runs slow there. Everything's kind of a mess. Always, especially if you got to get back, rental car back to the place, get back to the airport. Anytime you're driving, especially driving in San Jose, it's worse than Los Angeles. And always plan a minimum of 1 to 3 extra hours if you need to be somewhere on time. 1 to 3 extra hours. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. What else do we got here?
You can spend dollars there?
But it's probably better to get the colognes. Don't get the colognes at the airport. They'll totally screw you on the exchange. And if you want to spend American dollars, don't expect that you're always going to get the proper change back. Also, be prepared for the toll booths. There's a lot of toll booths there when you're driving, and it's much better to have exact change or near exact change or colognes to pay that. The nice thing is it's usually printed right in front of you, but the locals get really annoyed if you take too much time to pay the toll person. And, make sure you go through the right toll booth, not the one that's automatic, but the manual one. And if you take too much time, people are honking at you and all asshole-ish, but I guess that's the same everywhere. But, yeah, we took a bunch of 1s and 5s, about $200 or $300 in 1s and 5s. We didn't spend it all, but it's always good to have those 1s to tip people off, the 1s and 5s to tip people off, because everyone wants a tip for everything, even when they don't deserve it.
Let's see. Oh, animals.
So the funny thing is, when you pay to go into these national parks, you have the option to do it yourself or to pay for a tour guide to take you through the parks. Now, I have a really great eye because I mushroom hunt, I garden, I'm out in the forest a lot, but in Costa Rica, I didn't see anything. I couldn't see anything with my bare eye, and we had really great binoculars. If you go to the national park by yourself, chances are you might see a monkey, and that's about it. But these tour guides that you can pay a little extra for, they come with this like telephoto binoculars, and they find the most amazing animals hidden in the most obscure places, and insects and sloths, and it will blow your mind. And we would have never seen any of that if it wouldn't have been for that tour guide. And then he'll take your camera and line it up, and you'll be able to take photos of those animals through the binoculars. The only place we saw animals like unsolicited was in San Manuel, by the beach there. I'm probably totally calling it the wrong name. Sorry, I'm still fatigued from traveling. But I'll write the name of the beach. It's a big beach town that everyone goes to and loves. But there, the animals are everywhere. It's crazy. We would be walking home from the bar at night, and there would literally be sloths coming across the electrical lines under the street lights, and monkeys. There were monkeys all over by our hotel. Okay, so here's the thing. They tell you you can feed the monkeys, but only fruit, no junk food, no crap. And though they discourage you feeding the monkeys, everyone does it anyways. And they tell you that you can feed them healthy food, though. Well, we saw someone try to give the monkey, a mama monkey and her baby, some strawberries, and she looked at it and just dumped it out. And she was going through the dumpster and pulling out like all kinds of fast food and ripping over the wrappers. But what they don't tell you, that somebody a little more educated shared with me, is that, because we're primates, bacteria transfers off of our hands to the wildlife, and it's been a big problem with getting them sick. So best thing, don't feed them at all. Don't make contact with them, don't give them food, just enjoy them, and don't add to their dependency on humans and also them possibly getting sick with a disease, okay? So San Manuel. Always prepared for the craziness. Okay, I got that covered. I think that's everything. I think that's almost everything. In general, the Costa Ricans are nice enough. I found them to be a lot nicer in, of course, the smaller towns. They were very nice in Mount Verde. They were very nice in La Fortuna. They were a little bit edgy and bitchy at the beach for some reason, which is funny because it's usually the opposite. Usually sunny people are sunny. But you have to understand, like, all over the world right now, not only is, Costa Rica suffering from the big dichotomy with who the haves and the have-nots, the financial disparities, but they're also suffering from tourist exhaustion. There's so many people that go there so consistently, and though they really need the money, it's hard. It's hard because, it's just the impertinence and the way they're treated a lot by people. And so, keep that in mind. Imagine you live somewhere and it was just constant strangers and constant different civilities and constant unpredictable behaviors. It's stressful. It's stressful for everyone. So try to remember you're on vacation and be a Buddha, And I think, bug spray. Bug spray. I almost forgot. So they tell you to invest in a good bug spray. And a lot of people are, they don't want to use the DEET or the strong bug spray. So we made our own bug spray. It was really nice. It was this recipe I learned when I was in the Amazon. It's mainly like clove oil and lemongrass and blah, blah, blah. And we had these cool things that we got from Amazon. They were like little plastic wristbands, and now I regret doing the plastic thing, and little stickers. So when we were in La Fortuna and when we were in San Jose, no mosquitoes, no bugs. My friend got bit once, and usually he gets all bit up. Then we went to Mount Verde, and it's very windy and cold there, so no bugs. And so we're like, yay, our all-natural insect repellent is working, we're champions. Then we went to San Manuel, and we got the shit bit out of us. So I don't know. I never get bitten by mosquitoes and stuff. I never saw what was biting me. I had giant welts all over my legs. Something crawled on my pants, bit all over my ass. Disgusting giant boils all over my ass. Sorry, too much information. My point being, get the good bug protectant and be prepared to use it. I don't know what the hell was biting us, but I'm still recovering from it, whatever it was. And mainly in that beach area. I never saw what was getting me, but it got us good. So don't, I can't give the all-natural bug protectant stuff a thumbs up, because when the bugs really want to get you, you need the hardcore stuff. Okay, if I can think of anything else that I forgot about Costa Rican tips, I will add it later, and as soon as I have a chance, I'll add a lot of stuff in the verbiage below. Okay, well, I hope you have a great trip to Costa Rica. I enjoyed it, but I probably won't go back. Too many people, and I hate that feeling that people don't have enough. I hate that feeling that somebody's making a huge profit, but it's not being equally distributed among the people. And it was okay, but I felt a little exploited. It was a little too expensive for my taste, for the quality, for what you got. The food is delicious there. We never had a bad meal. Those people can cook. And we tried everything from pizza to sushi to, of course, all the local food. The food is delicious, but get ready to pay some more. And that's it. I hope you have a nice trip to Costa Rica, and I hope some of my tips were helpful. And if you have any other questions, just put them in the question box below. If you like my quick money-saving tips, information, and all that stuff, please subscribe. It helps. Unlike other YouTubers, I don't ask you to subscribe in the beginning because I think you should get a feel for me before you commit. And I want you to have a great 2020. We're in a new decade, and take care of yourselves, and please, let's take care of each other, because how we treat each other in our streets, that's our ultimate reality. Bye for now. Happy 2020. Happy New Year.